And I welcome you today to CSE Talk Radio. It's my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. Do you remember the old spaghetti westerns? The news kind of looks like that these days. It's hard to recognize the bad guys. Let's call today the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, I have a heartwarming story. And on the other side, the ugly and the bad, I have an ugly story based on truth, filled with a plot of bad guys helping bad guys. There's a genius marketing ploy, and I have our friend Daniel will be calling in soon to let us know what's going on in the energy world of our nation as we hear from Power of the Future. But unlike the spaghetti westerns, the hour will move a bit faster. It's kind of a joke around my house. My husband likes the westerns. I like the westerns too, but I bought him this DVD pack a few years ago at Christmas. And it had like 100 of these crazy spaghetti westerns in there. And I'm always saying, yeah, we watched them all. No, we didn't. I said, yeah, we watched them all. Well, unlike the spaghetti westerns, you will get to be a contributor to the show because it is Free for All Friday. Are you fired up and ready to go? It's Free for All Friday. Let's cut to the chase and get straight to the show. It's Free for All Friday, and this you must know. Your voice will be heard across the heart of this land. Your opinion is important, and I think you're just grand. It's Free for All Friday. Your calls are all welcome. We'll talk about almost anything you want to talk about. We deny very seldom. So get your coffee ready. It's the brew that is true. Let's get on with the show. This day is for you. It is Free for All Friday. Your calls are welcome at 877-895-5410. That's 877-895-5410. Well, I told you I had a heartwarming story, and I do. And this is strangers. And they helped a lady. We're going to call her Beverly because I can't pronounce her last name. And she was injured on a hiking trail. It says a group of strangers who came across an injured Beverly at the top of a 14,000 feet summit in the Rocky Mountains last Saturday took turns hauling her over their shoulders all the way back down the mountain. So what had happened was all of a sudden, she's 55 years old, and all of a sudden her knee gives out. And she falls, she goes down, and she can't get back up. She can't put any weight on her knee. And she kind of has a little bit of a panic attack because she's thinking, I'm not going to get back down. I mean, she's 14,000 feet up. And how's she going to get back down? She says, I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out because I'm sitting there thinking, how am I going to get down? Fortunately, the trail seemed to be swarming with good Samaritans that day. A group of strangers jumped into action and made her a makeshift splint to support her knee, while two doctors who happened to just be on the scene performed a quick evaluation and determined she most likely had torn her ACL. So, one gentleman says to her, I'm military. Are you comfortable doing a fireman carry? I'm going to throw you over my shoulder. I'm thinking, really? He's a nice kid, good looking, and I weigh 160 pounds, and he wants to do this? He's like, yes, ma'am, I'm active military. So he carries her down, and then they take turns. Some other guys say, show us how to do this, and they take turns, and they get her carried down 14,000 feet, back down to where she can get home, I guess. And she is going to have surgery, it says. She did tear her ACL, and she will have surgery, but she would not have made it down without the Good Samaritans. There are a lot of good people in this country, in this nation. I'd heard a story recently about one of the bike-a-thons that they do, or tournaments, or I don't know what they call them when they go biking. But anyway, they have, I think they're military then, and they're along the path. And they help in whatever way they can. If you got a flat, if you've got this, if you got that, if they have to haul you back, that's what they do all day long. They just take turns helping everybody. I thought that was kind of astonishing. Now, marketing. Florida town of Mayo. This is Mayo, Florida. And they're changing their name to another creamy condiment, sparking heated debate. Now, this is coming from, they're kind of humorous, and sometimes they're a little bit colorful with their language. But this is the, what do they call them? The gals on the right, the females on the right. Chicks, that's what they call them, chicks on the right. It's an age-old question that has ruined friendships, torn apart marriages, and ruined more than one potluck. Mayo or Miracle Whip? And the answer is a simple one. She says, Mayo. If you disagree, I simply have no room for you in my life. Now, I was just laughing with the producer, and we were saying, you know, when one of my sons was a kid, I couldn't fool him. He wanted the Miracle Whip, and if I put mayo on something, you know, because it was on sale or whatever, he didn't like it. And so my family does prefer the Miracle Whip, which of course is sweeter. It's got a little spice in it, but it's sweet. It's got the sugar in there. Anyway, this little town, and it was a marketing ploy, kind of like IHOP and IHOB. It was a marketing ploy, but they went all out with this marketing ploy, changing signs and everything. And anyway, it's I guess it proved to be genius, but I guess there might have been a little conflict over it because they kept it a secret and made it act like it was real, like the, I imagine they paid the town well. It was a little bitty town. I think maybe it has a population of 1,000 people or something smaller than here, you know. So they probably needed the money, and so Miracle Whip paid for the signs, and I don't know if they paid for the divorces that might have come thereafter or not. But Miracle Whip or mayonnaise? What do you prefer? I guess that's the question of the day. 877-895-5410 is the number to call. That's 877-895-5410. We have had some elections this week. We talked about that briefly earlier this week. And Newt Gingrich, I don't know if you like him or you don't like him, he's a player, you know. He's predicting that there will not be a blue wave come November. Now, I have something that I'm going to share later in the show with you. And it's something that I have not talked a lot about because it's just so confusing and because Fox is talking about it all the time. But it puts together, and it's from Tom Tancredo, if you remember who he is, and we'll explain it later when I share it with you. And I will make it available if you want it. But it's a timeline with names of what took place through the years and who was involved. And it's really kind of an eye-opening thing when you see it. When they talk about it on the news, on Fox, I mean, it's almost, you know, blows your head open because it's just so convoluted, as a good friend of mine used to say. She was always saying convoluted. You remember Kay? Kay always said convoluted. So, we're going to share that later in the show. But Newt Gingrich, he says there's not going to be a blue wave this fall. I kind of agree with him, probably not for the same reasons. You know, he's up there being the cheerleader. But I think it's because of all of the drama that they have put the American people through. I think it's that, and the absurdities of getting rid of ICE and doing some of the things that they have tried to do. I think that's why there won't be a blue wave. I think the American people are sick and tired of it. Anyway, it is Free for All Friday. Daniel will be joining us here real shortly. 877-895-5410. That's 877-895-5410. Mayo or mayonnaise? And we will be right back.